There are moments when the distance between two people is not measured in miles, but in silences, in words left unsaid, in looks that no longer meet in the same way. That's exactly what both of you have been feeling. There is something invisible, yet very real, that is slowly creating a chasm between you. And this feeling of loss is taking over both of them. The hearts of each, which once beat in harmony, now seem to be in conflict, enveloped in doubts and a weight they cannot explain. This feeling of drifting apart is a warning. The angels are trying to make you realize that, even amidst all this silence and emotional distance, there is still something very precious to be saved. Both of you know this, even if it's hard to admit. You have a connection, a history, something that was built with love and, despite the difficulties, can still be restored. What is most painful is that the longing is present, a longing that has nothing to do with physical absence, but with the absence of the person you were to each other. You miss who you were in the simplest moments, the casual conversations, the easy smiles, the complicity in your gazes. And now, for some reason that maybe even you cannot fully understand, these little things are fading away, leaving a deep void. This void manifests itself in various ways. For them, it might be the constant tightness in their chest, that feeling that something is wrong, but they don't know how to fix it. Every gesture, every word seems harder to give. Talking about what is really happening between you sounds heavy, as if the truth could hurt even more. And then, silence sets in. A silence that seems more comfortable than facing what is really going on. And what about them? They also feel. They may not show it clearly, they may seem more distant, more wrapped up in their own thoughts, but that emotional distance is as painful for them as it is for you. They withdraw, maybe out of fear of facing what they are feeling, maybe because they don't know how to reverse the situation. But deep down, they feel the same thing, that they are losing something very important. Life, responsibilities, the wear and tear of everyday life have been building barriers that you both didn't even notice until they became almost insurmountable. Now you are on the verge of losing something that can still be saved if there is the will to fight for it. And the angels are here to say that this fight is worth it. What needs to be remembered above all is that you are not alone on this journey. Often, it seems like the weight of the problems is greater than you can bear. It seems like the wounds are too deep to heal, and that love no longer has the necessary strength to overcome the barriers. But what the angels are saying is that there is still hope. There is a light, even if distant, that can guide you back to each other. The first step is to acknowledge that both of you are suffering. It is not only you who feels this anguish, this longing, this desire for things to go back to how they were. They also feel, even if they don't talk about it. Perhaps they don't know how to express what they are feeling. Perhaps they are afraid of appearing weak or vulnerable. But what the angels want you to know is that their pain is real, just like yours. You have been through a lot together. You have faced challenges, overcome obstacles, and at some point, their love was stronger than anything else. That love still exists, even if it is hidden under layers of hurt, misunderstandings, and silences. And that's why it's worth trying. What you have is rare, it's special. It's not something easily found, and most importantly, it's not something to be left behind without a fight. The angels ask you to be patient, both with them and with yourself. This is a delicate moment, and any hasty action can cause more harm. But with patience, compassion, and honesty, there is a way back. This path won't be easy because it requires both of you to be willing to open up, to listen, to forgive, and to leave the pains of the past behind. They are confused, just like you. There is a battle going on inside them, a struggle between the fear of losing more and the desire to regain what was once beautiful. They want to find a way to express what they are feeling, but maybe they don't know how. Perhaps the words don't come so easily, or maybe they feel that anything they say will only make the situation worse. But deep down, they also want things to be set right. The angels say it takes courage. Courage to talk about what is hurting, to face fears, to admit weaknesses. This is the first step to healing. If you can break the silence, if you can find the right words, even if they are painful, you can start building something new. It won't be like before, it will be different, but it can be even better. Because this time, it will be stronger, more mature, and more true. You both miss each other. Not the physical presence, but the deep connection, the partnership that helped them overcome so many challenges. They can still reclaim that, but they need to be willing to look inward and face what is really causing this distance. The pain you are feeling, the sensation of drifting apart from each other, is actually a sign that something needs to be healed. It is a call from your hearts for both of you to look inside and realize what is really going on. Often, in the hustle and bustle of daily life, amid pressures and responsibilities, we end up forgetting to nurture the connections that matter most to us. And that's exactly what happened here. The angels are sending a clear message: this pain you feel is not the end. In fact, it is an opportunity. An opportunity to look beyond the appearances and superficial wounds and dive deeper into what is really behind this distancing. Both of you have hurts, resentments, expectations that may have never been expressed or got lost along the way. Now is the time to lay these issues on the table, to openly discuss what is hurting you. For them, perhaps the fear of not being enough is guiding their actions. They may be feeling that no matter how hard they try, they can never be the partner you deserve. This fear is something they hide well, and often it disguises itself as coldness, silence, distance. But deep down, what is really happening is that they are feeling insecure. They wonder if they are still capable of making you happy, if they can still be the one who brings you joy, peace, and comfort. But they know that the answer to this question is not in perfection or grand gestures. It's in the small moments, in the details of everyday life. It's in their presence by your side, in honest conversations, in the ability of both to support each other, even when things seem to be falling apart. And more than that, it's in the willingness to grow together, to mature, and to face challenges head-on as a team. The angels want you to understand that, at this moment, the key to reconnecting is not in major external changes, but in an internal process of healing and renewal. Both need to look within, to realize what has been overlooked, what has been neglected, and to take a step towards healing. This means making room for forgiveness, for understanding, and above all, for love. Truly loving someone does not mean that everything will always be easy. On the contrary, real love often involves moments of pain, challenge, transformation. But it is precisely in these moments that love is proven. When, despite all the difficulties, you still choose to rise and try again, still choose to fight for each other, even when it seems like everything is falling apart. For them, the challenge now is to trust. To trust that, despite all their fears and insecurities, they are still worthy of being loved. They need to believe that your love can overcome this phase, that they don't need to be perfect to be enough. And you, in turn, need to remember what made you fall in love with them. Remember the qualities you have always admired, the reasons why you chose to walk by their side. This phase that they are going through is a test, but it is also an opportunity to deepen the connection. Many times, pain is an invitation to grow, evolve, and become stronger. What the angels want them to understand is that this pain is not the end, but the beginning of something new. It is here to help them reconnect in an even deeper way. However, this will not happen overnight. It will be a gradual process that will require patience, compassion, and a lot of honesty. Both will need to be willing to talk about what is really happening, about the fears, expectations, and frustrations they have been holding on to. But by doing this, they will create space for love to bloom again, in a renewed and stronger way than before. They miss them, even if they do not show it in the way they expected. Often, pride or fear of appearing vulnerable prevent them from expressing what they truly feel. But deep down, they want things to go back to how they were. They want to feel the lightness, joy, and complicity that existed between them. They just need a little push, an assurance that it is safe to open up again, that it is safe to trust in their love. The angels are here to help. They want them to know that if both are willing, this relationship can not only be saved, but it can become even more beautiful than before. All it takes is the willingness to look within, to open up to the truth, and to let their love guide the way. Remember that love is not static. It grows, transforms, and sometimes needs to be renewed. They are in a moment of renewal, and this is the perfect opportunity to recreate the connection they once had. If both are willing to open up, to be vulnerable, to share their pains and hopes, this relationship can flourish again, with even more strength and beauty. The road ahead may be challenging, but they are not alone. The angels are by their side, guiding every step, whispering words of encouragement and offering support. They want them to know that the pain they are feeling now is temporary, and that, if they persist, they will find a new way to love, a way that will be even more true and authentic. The journey may seem difficult, but their love is strong enough to overcome these challenges. The only thing they both need to do is trust in the process, trust in each other, and above all, trust in the transformative power of love. Because, in the end, what really matters is the love that is still there, waiting to be rediscovered and revived. Their love has been tested, and this feeling of drifting apart is nothing more than a reflection of the burden they both carry without being able to express it. When the hearts of two lovers start to drift away, the the angels whisper not to give up. They see something that they, immersed in pain and silence, cannot clearly perceive. And that is exactly why they are here, to offer the hopeful insight they need. You may be wondering how you got to this point. How is it possible that someone who was once so close, so connected to you, now seems so distant? And they, on the other side, also wonder the same thing. How did they let routines, responsibilities, and unhealed wounds create an invisible wall between the two of you? The truth is that this distancing was subtle, almost imperceptible. It started with small silences, with a word left unsaid, with a hurt that was not discussed. And over time, these little things accumulated, creating an abyss that now seems impossible to overcome. But the angels are here to remind that there are no abysses so deep that love cannot fill. In their heart, there still exists the flame that once brought them together. This flame may be weakened, nearly extinguished, but it has not died. And if they are willing, they can reignite it. The question the angels ask you now is, are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to open up, to face difficult truths, to let your love be reborn from the ashes? They, on the other side, feel the same weight. The difference is that they may not know how to express it. Many men, when faced with such deep feelings, do not know how to deal with them. They may stay silent, withdraw, trying to find a way to process what they are feeling without appearing weak. They feel fear of losing you, fear of not being able to make you happy again, fear that this distance is the beginning of the end. But they don't know how to start that conversation, how to tell you that they are also suffering. This is where the angels ask for your courage. They ask you to take the first step. Maybe they need a sign, a demonstration that it is safe to open up, that you can face this together. Often, people get so caught up in their own fears that they forget that the other is also suffering. They may seem distant, but make no mistake, they are struggling as much as you are to understand how things have come to this point. The angels are showing that they think of you more than you imagine. There are moments when they mentally revisit the days when everything was simpler, lighter, and wonder how everything became so complicated. They miss you, but don't know how to express it. And this cycle of longing and silence consumes them, just as it consumes you. But what they don't know is that this longing doesn't have to be the end. It can be the starting point for something new, something stronger. At this moment, the angels are placing both of you at a crossroads. They can continue on the path of silence, letting the abyss between them grow until it's impassable, or they can choose a different path. They can choose reconciliation, truth, love. But for that, both need to be willing to open their hearts in a way they might have never done before. The silence between them doesn't have to be a sentence. It can be an invitation to something greater. It's easy to let fear and pain silence the words, but the angels are here to say that they don't need to continue like this. There's a strength in their love that hasn't been fully explored yet, and it's exactly this strength that can guide them back to each other. They need to know that it's safe to feel. They need to understand that, despite all the difficulties, you are still beside them. That the love you've built over time hasn't simply vanished because things got tough. You've gone through so many challenges together, and this is just another one. A challenge that, if faced with courage and honesty, can further strengthen your bond. For that, you need to reclaim the essence of what always united the two of you: the affection, the respect, the friendship, the partnership. All these elements are still there, just hidden beneath the weight of resentments and unmet expectations. It's time to bring these qualities back to the surface, to remember why you chose each other in the first place. The angels ask you to trust the process. They know this journey won't be easy, but they also know it will be deeply rewarding. Sometimes, we need to confront our greatest pains to discover our greatest strength. And this pain you're feeling now can be turned into a new opportunity for love, connection, and growth. They are waiting for a sign, something that shows them it's safe to let their guard down, that it's safe to talk about what they're feeling. And you, more than anyone else, can provide that sign. It could be an honest conversation, a gesture of affection, something that shows them that, despite everything, you still believe in your love. Because deep down, they believe too, they just don't know where to start rebuilding what was lost. The angels indicate that healing will come when both are willing to look beyond the hurt and see each other's hearts. It won't be a quick process, but it will be genuine. And when that happens, you will discover that your love, even after all the storms, is even stronger than before. Because it's a love that has been tested, that has faced the worst, and that ultimately chose to prevail. The fear of losing them, of them drifting further away, is understandable. But the angels want you to know that they are closer than they appear. They are waiting for you, even if they don't know how to express it. They are searching for a way back, and you can be the beacon that guides them back to your path together. This is your chance to reclaim what was once so beautiful. It's an opportunity to turn pain into growth, silence into dialogue, and distance into closeness. Your love has not ended, it's just waiting to be renewed. Now that they are at the threshold of a choice, the angels want them to know that they are not alone on this path. Often, when facing crises like this, it's easy to forget that there is a greater purpose behind everything that is happening. This tough moment they are going through is not a sign that their love has ended, but rather a reminder that love, just like life, goes through cycles. There are periods of joy, closeness, and lightness, and there are also periods of challenges, distance, and pain. What defines the success of a relationship is not the absence of problems, but the ability to face them together, to grow from them. The angels are asking them to, even amidst the pain, remember the most precious thing between them, the deep bond that has been built over time. It's this bond that has brought them this far, and it can be the foundation of a new beginning. But for that to happen, both need to be willing to let go of pride, resentments, and unrealistic expectations. They need to go back to the essence of what really matters, genuine love and the desire to be happy together. This journey, as mentioned before, will not be easy. True reconciliation requires them to look at the wounds that are open and, with patience and love, start the healing process. There will be moments when it's easier to back off, give up, believe that maybe it's simpler to leave things as they are. But the angels are asking them to resist that temptation. Because, in the end, they know it's worth fighting for this love. They are also going through an internal transformation. Maybe they don't share all their insecurities and fears with you, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. On the contrary, these fears are exactly what prevent them from getting closer, from surrendering in the way you expect. They are afraid of failing, of not being able to meet your expectations, of reliving old pains that still haunt them. But the angels show that you have the power to help them overcome these fears. Your patience, your compassion, and your presence are the key for them to feel safe to love again. In the moments when they withdraw, when it seems like the silence between you is unbearable, remember that they are fighting their own battles. This is not a reflection of what they feel for you, but rather of what they feel for themselves. They are trying to find the courage to lower their defenses, to believe that your love can overcome even their greatest insecurities. And you, with your strength and resilience, can show them that true love is not based on perfection, but on acceptance and mutual support. Your love is going through a phase of renewal. And as in any process of renewal, there are parts that need to be left behind, wounds that need to be healed, and scars that need to be treated with care. But the angels want you to know that the pain you are feeling now is just the prelude to something much more beautiful. They see the potential in both of you as a couple, and know that if you persevere, you will discover a depth of love that you may not have imagined was possible. Remember that love is not a static feeling. It grows, changes, and sometimes needs to be rescued from the ashes. They are in the midst of this rescue process, and the angels are here to guide each of their steps. They ask that you trust your own heart and the wisdom that exists within you. Deep down, you know that this love is worth it, that this story is not over yet. You're just entering a new phase, more challenging, but also full of possibilities for growth and transformation. The next step is a joint decision. Both need to want to fight for this, need to be willing to face difficult truths, let go of control, and trust each other. It won't be easy, and there will be moments when you'll question if you're on the right path. But if both commit to this journey, you will discover that your love is much stronger than any adversity. They, just like you, want things to be good again. They want to feel that lightness, that peace, and that happiness they once experienced together. And even if they are confused, even if fear tries to convince them otherwise, they still believe in the potential of both of you. Deep down, they know that the distance between you two is temporary and that, with mutual effort, you can rediscover harmony. The angels ask you to continue being the light you have always been. Even in moments when tiredness and pain seem unbearable, remember that you have immense strength within you. You were chosen to stand by them at this moment because you have the ability to see beyond appearances, beyond silences and uncertainties. You can see their heart, understand their struggles, and that's exactly what will make a difference in your journey together. And they will also begin to realize that. Little by little, as you work together, they will start to open up again, to trust, to believe that love can overcome even the most difficult challenges. And when that happens, you will discover a new phase, a phase of peace, of complicity, and of an even deeper love than what you have already experienced. The angels want you to know that this is just the beginning of a new phase. There is much more to come. If you persist, if you open up to truth and love, you will find that this journey was actually a preparation for something much greater and more beautiful than you ever imagined. Your love has the ability to renew itself, to transform, and to be a source of joy and fulfillment for both of you. Now is the time to take the next step. To trust, to believe, and to move forward, knowing that the angels are by your side, guiding each decision and illuminating the path. Believe that the best is yet to come and that, with love, anything can be overcome. You can reclaim what was lost, you can rebuild what was shaken, and you can together create a new, even stronger and truer story. This is your journey, and the angels are here to ensure that, if both of you are willing, it will have an ending full of love, peace, and happiness. Trust. Your love is big enough to overcome any barrier.